Have you ever wondered what would happen if the fastest man alive wasn't a hero but a nightmare? What if there was a speedster so twisted, so relentless, that even the Flash couldn't keep up? Let's talk about Zoom, the villain who redefined fear. Get ready to dive into a universe where speed meets chaos. Welcome to Nerd Infinite, the channel that takes you beyond the boundaries of entertainment, revealing the secrets, theories, and details only true fans can spot. If you're the kind of person who loves to dig into the deeper layers and uncover what really drives heroes and villains, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into the darkest side of one of the most insane speedsters ever to face the Flash. Yes, we're talking about Zoom, the villain who redefines fear with every step. So, hold tight, because what's coming next will leave you breathless. Who exactly is this speed demon known as Zoom? Now, you might be wondering, who exactly is this speedster character that has been causing chaos wherever he goes in the Flash universe? Well, let's start from the beginning. Zoom, also known as Hunter Zolomon, comes from Earth 2 in the DC multiverse. But don't let that alternate Earth fool you. This guy is bad news no matter which universe he's in. Hunter's story begins with tragedy, as many villains' stories do. Imagine being a kid and witnessing your father murdered your mother right in front of you. Pretty messed up, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to young Hunter. This traumatic event sets him on a dark path that eventually leads to his becoming one of the most feared villains in the multiverse. As Hunter grows up, he doesn't exactly turn into a model citizen. He became a serial killer. Yeah, you heard that right. Our boy Hunter had some serious issues, but his story takes an even crazier turn when he's sent to an asylum to cure his insanity. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. Zoom, the origin of the villain who overcame the Scarlet Speedster. Now, here's where things get interesting. While Hunter was chilling in the asylum, and by chilling, we mean probably plotting his next murder, something extraordinary happened. The STAR Labs particle accelerator exploded and boom, Hunter got zapped with some serious superpowers. But we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill superpowers here. No, Hunter got the granddaddy of all superpowers, super speed. And we're not just talking fast. We're talking make the Flash look like he's moving in slow motion. Fast. With his new powers, Hunter did what any self-respecting serial killer would do. He broke out of the asylum and decided to become a supervillain. Because? Why be a regular bad guy when you can be a super bad guy, right? Zoom's need for speed. Now, you might think that being the fastest man alive would be enough for most people, but not for our boy Zoom. Oh no, he wanted more. He created something called the Velocity 9 Serum, which is like super steroids for speedsters. This stuff made him even faster, but as with most things that seem too good to be true, there was a catch. The Velocity Serum was killing him. Talk about a speed bump, huh? But Zoom wasn't about to let a little thing like impending death slow him down. He started searching for a cure, and that's when things got interesting. Zoom's quest for a cure made him mess with the Speed Force itself. Now, if you're not familiar with the Speed Force, think of it as the source of all the speedsters' powers. It's like a cosmic energy that allows speedsters to do their thing. But the Speed Force doesn't like being messed with, and it sends its enforcers, the Time Wraiths, after Zoom. But Zoom, being the slippery devil he is, managed to avoid the Time Wraiths, for a while at least. More on that later. Zoom's multiverse adventures. Not content with terrorizing just one Earth, Zoom decided to take his show on the road. Or should we say, across the multiverse. He found his way to Earth 3 where he encountered another speedster, Jay Garrick, also known as the Flash. But Zoom wasn't looking for a new running buddy. Nope, he kidnapped Jay and brought him back to Earth 2, hoping to steal his speed. Unfortunately for Jay, but fortunately for Zoom, the speed-stealing plan didn't work out. But Zoom, never one to waste an opportunity, decided to keep Jay as a prisoner. There's nothing more iconic than a supervillain proudly displaying a superhero trophy. After all, what could scream "I am the master of evil" better than having a trophy from someone you always wanted to defeat? The two-faced speedster. Now here's where Zoom's story takes a real twist. He got tired of just being the bad guy all the time. So what did he do? He decided to be the good guy too. Talk about an identity crisis. Zoom stole Jay Garrick's identity and started playing the role of the Flash on Earth 2. So during the day, he'd be running around saving people as Jay Garrick, the Flash, and at night, he'd terrorize the city as Zoom. Talk about a busy schedule. But how did he pull this off? Time remnants, of course. Zoom would create time remnants of himself to maintain the illusion that the Flash and Zoom were two different people. It's like the speedster version of being in two places at once. Zoom sets his sights on Earth 1. One day, while Zoom was doing his whole Jekyll and Hyde routine, something unexpected happened. A singularity opened up above Central City, leading to Earth 1. And what did Zoom find there? Another speedster, of course. This time, it was Barry Allen, the Flash of Earth 1. Now, Zoom saw this as a golden opportunity. He thought, why settle for Jay Garrick's speed when I can have Barry Allen's? So he put on his best good guy act and posed as an ally to Team Flash. For a long time, Jay Garrick worked alongside Barry and his friends, pretending to be a mentor and friend. But all good things must come to an end, and eventually, Zoom's true identity was revealed. Talk about a plot twist, Zoom's master plan. With his cover blown, Zoom went all in on his villainous plan. He kidnaps Wally West, Barry's foster brother, and uses him as leverage to force Barry to give up his speed. And guess what? It worked. Barry gave up his speed to save Wally, leaving Zoom as the undisputed fastest man in the multiverse. But Zoom wasn't content with just being the fastest. Oh no, he had much bigger plans. He wanted to conquer Earth 1 with his army of Earth 2 metahumans. And if that wasn't ambitious enough, he also planned to destroy every other planet in the multiverse. Why? To ensure he remained the only speedster in existence. Talk about taking being number one to the extreme. The corruption of Caitlin Snow. As if all that wasn't enough, Zoom also tried to corrupt Caitlin Snow, one of Barry's closest friends. He wanted to turn her into Killer Frost, her villainous Earth 2 counterpart. Why? Well, partly because he had a twisted attraction to her, and partly because he wanted to prove a point to Barry. You see, Zoom believed that he and Barry were two sides of the same coin. He wanted to show Barry that under the right circumstances, anyone could become a villain, even someone as good as Barry. It was Zoom's way of justifying his evil actions. Pretty messed up, right? The fall of Zoom. But as we all know, the bad guy never wins in the end. Well, rarely. Barry and his team eventually foiled Zoom's grand plan. It all came down to an epic speedster showdown between Barry and Zoom. The battle was intense, with both speedsters pushing their powers to the limit. But in the end, Barry came out on top. However, defeating Zoom wasn't enough. The Time Wraiths, those Speed Force enforcers we mentioned earlier, finally caught up with Zoom. And let us tell you, the Time Wraiths were not happy. They transformed Zoom into a demonic creature called the Black Flash and imprisoned him in the Speed Force. Talk about karma coming back to bite you, the Black Flash. Now, you might think that's the end of Zoom's story, but oh no, it gets even crazier. As the Black Flash, Zoom was forced to become an enforcer of the Speed Force, the very thing he once tried to manipulate and abuse. His job? To hunt down speedsters who mess with the timeline. Ironic, isn't it? The guy who once broke all the rules is now forced to enforce them for all eternity. And his first target? None other than Yobard Thawne, another speedster villain who had been messing with time. The lasting impact of Zoom. Even though Zoom was defeated, his actions left a lasting impact on Barry and the entire multiverse. Barry, traumatized by everything Zoom had done, made a desperate decision. He created an alternate timeline called Flashpoint, hoping to undo Zoom's crimes. But as we all know, messing with time never ends well. Barry was forced to restore the original timeline, but the damage was done. His actions caused even more disruptions to the main timeline, leading to a whole new set of problems. The legacy of Hunter Zolomon. So, what can we say about Hunter Zolomon, the man who became Zoom? He was a complex villain, driven by trauma, obsession, and a desperate need for speed. His actions were undoubtedly evil, but his motivations were, well, not exactly relatable, but at least understandable. Zoom showed us the dark side of superspeed. He proved that even the most amazing powers can be corrupted when they fall into the wrong hands. He challenged our hero, Barry Allen, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. In many ways, Zoom was the anti-Flash. Where Barry used his powers to help others, Zoom used him for personal gain and to spread fear. Where Barry valued family and friendship, Zoom saw them as weaknesses to be exploited. And where Barry always tried to do the right thing, Zoom embraced his darkest impulses. And there you have it. The twisted tale of Zoom, the speedster who surpassed all others, only to fall victim to his ambition and cruelty. From traumatized child to serial killer, from superpowered villain to cosmic enforcer, Zoom's journey is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of using our gifts for good. Zoom may be gone, well, sort of, but his impact on the Flash and the entire Arrowverse can still be felt. He pushed Barry to his limits, forced him to confront his potential for darkness, and ultimately made him a stronger hero. So the next time you're watching the Flash zip around Central City, remember the dark speedster who once terrorized the multiverse. Because without villains like Zoom, our heroes wouldn't shine quite as brightly. And who knows? In a multiverse full of alternate Earths and time travel shenanigans, we may not have seen the last of Hunter Zolomon. After all, in the world of comic books and superheroes, no one stays dead forever. Not even a speedster trapped in the Speed Force for all eternity. Until next time, keep running fast, but remember to run towards the light, not the darkness. As Zoom proved, the path of a villain might seem tempting, but it always leads to a dead end. And if you enjoyed this dive into the world of speedsters, leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any details of upcoming analyses of villains and heroes to come. Activate the bell, because the next episode will be even more intense. See you next time, Even Suit Nerds.